the topic for the rant episode. So we're going to be... I sound like a broken fiddle at this point. Nope. But I want to secure a win with Entite. Actually, let's give Top Hat a go for once. It's probably a bad idea, but still. It's been a while since I played like a regular character, and I don't want to get screwed up by anything else. But anyway, so topic for today is developers and YouTubers. I don't even know. I really shouldn't like just pigeonhole myself with topics. Wow, this would have actually been a really good Entite run. Oh well, we'll figure it out. Except for you, Jesus. All right, so developers and YouTubers. So if you've ever like kind of listened to me rant, I kind of talk about like asking for games and stuff. And oh, time to get out of there. Ooh, those guys do a lot of damage to me. Note to self: do not get stuck in a goddamn hole. As the freaking worm creatures coming from my face. Anyway, so I talk every once in a while about like getting free games from developers and stuff, and like I've never actually. I feel kind of good about this. That nobody's ever like gone after me for getting free games from developers. I'm sure there's like somebody out there that's like, gosh, you know, Wander, stop bragging about new games you get. Oh, see you, Frank Obi. But like, you know, gosh, Wander, stop bragging about these newfangled indie games or AAA games or whatever that you've been handed as a result of, you know, your YouTubing. I always feel kind of bad about it because it's like I don't want to talk too much about like the fact that I have gotten these games for free. Oh, no. But at the same time, I really wish you could actually pick those up the moment they drop instead of not. Okay. I have my doubts about my ability to even pick up any of this. I'm not even going to bother. That is just too scary. Hitting those guys is going to be a pain in the ass too. Oh wait, I got him. Beautiful. But like, I feel bad for ever being in a situation where anybody would think I'm bragging that I'm getting free games. Because honestly, like, this is an expensive hobby. And even then, like, say I do manage to turn this into a profession, it's going to be a very expensive profession that doesn't pay, like, terribly, comparatively. Let's see. Favorite game I've been gifted and why? Trying to think on that one. Actually, I'm trying to think, like, games-wise that I've played. Because I actually, weirdly enough, all of the games I've ever been successful at, I have never been gifted by any of the developers. Armello is kind of a weird one where I bought it and then they gave it to me. But apart from that, all of the games that I've ever actually done well with, I had to buy with my own money. So there is that. But so like Vagante had to pay for. Could have just covered the demo, but it was like, nah, screw it. We'll just do it live. Let's see. Catacomb Kids I bought. Armello I bought. Dungeon the Endless I bought. Trying to think. The only game that, if you look at my channel, the only like truly successful game that I've ever been gifted is actually Force 2. And so that's kind of one of the things I kind of want to talk about today a little bit. Because, so the developers for... Oh, shoot, I need to remember to email them. I don't know if people saw on the stream the other day, but there's actually a guy... what? Oh, God, I hate when those guys just teleport inside you for no good reason. I don't like people being inside of me. Eyeballs especially. But so, I actually got an email from the developer being, of Force 2 being like, hey, you know, we've updated our game. Can you take a look at it? And it was actually a personalized email. Like, they specifically were referencing the fact that they liked my videos. I thought that was, like, actually one of the coolest things I'd ever experienced as a YouTuber. And, you know, there are a number of situations where, like, I run into, you know, developers and they're actually super positive. So I mentioned, at least a little while ago, that I met Joe, the developer of Tower of Guns. And it was, like, a super positive experience. And, like, he actually gifted, or sort of his wife, sort of him, gifted me a Hugbot, which is kind of like the mascot character for the game. But I thought that was like super endearing and I really enjoyed it. But so, I actually bought that game for $1, so I'm not entirely sure what to count for that one, because it was on a Indie Game Stand sale, and I actually felt really bad about it, which is part of the reason why my series went so long, because I knew nobody else was covering it nearly as much as I was. I was like, nah, I gotta keep doing this, because people need to know the glory of Tower of Guns. But so... Yeah, oh shit, what even hit me there? I don't even know. I believe it was last night, actually. I was streaming Endless Legend, and so the developer of Force 2, without even, like, mentioning that, and it wasn't, like, the developer, because it's actually, like, a studio of 20-ish people, 15 to 20 people, was actually, one of the developers was hanging out in the stream, and watching and having fun, and, you know, then was giving me compliments about my Force 2 coverage. And I had no idea until he started talking about it, and I was like, oh, well, suddenly I seriously regretted, you know, not covering the game. And so the developers technically did not gift it to me. And so, just to give a shout out to my, oh boy, my buddy Alzarath. He is the one that gifted me that game. However, that is probably my favorite game I've been gifted. It's not quite the same situation, but considering how positive, god damn, there are a lot of these stone people, and I don't have enough health for this. I do not. Okay. Oh, there are two of them stacked together, too. Fear that. Okay. Whew. This is scary business playing as Top Hat. Dude is weak as shit. I know I could die to, like, boost up my damage, but that's not a good plan. Alright, time to leave, time to leave, time to leave. Okay. But I actually would say that is probably my favorite game thus far that I've ever been gifted. Even though it doesn't quite fulfill the requirements. Apart from that, I'd probably say, I don't know. I'd probably... Oh, balls. These are some good jukes, but still. And you only have 25 health. Everything is terrifying. I really want to get this box, too. It better have health in it. Or that. It's not exactly the same, but I'll deal. Let's see. One of you guys better give me some health. At least I got that acid thing, or the poison thing, whatever you want to call it. Oh shit, I did die along the way. Well, that actually is going to make our damage really solid. No! Okay, grab the health. Don't die. Again. After a certain point, it's just completely unfeasible to win this game with Top Hat. This is why I don't like playing this character. His health pool is just awful. I'd rather him just have 75... I wish he had 75 health. But so... the developers actually hang out, and like they've sent me communiques. They actually sent me an email I need to respond to, even though at this point I'd say I've already tacitly agreed, even if it's not obvious. They actually asked me to cover all of their games, sort of officially, and they'd like promote it on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. And I actually was really excited about that. God damn it, that hurts. But I was actually really excited about that because, like, I've mentioned a lot of developers have been like super positive about my coverage of their games, but it's inconsistent to a degree. That, like, you know, Joe from Tower of Guns doesn't want to be like super promotional as far as my stuff goes, and honestly, at the time that I was covering Tower of Guns substantially, it was one of those where I was super small, so him promoting me was largely meaningless, more beneficial for me than him. But at this point, me actually promoting people is actually beneficial for both. Like, I'm actually getting to enough size that I can kind of get away with doing it. And, like, I can get away with promoting them, so I think I already have, like, 1,000-something views on Force 2. It's not exactly the most well-reviewed video I've ever done, but it's got a fair amount of views, and honestly, the rest of them seem to be doing a little bit better, so there's that. But, I don't know. It's interesting working with developers, and I really hope I get the chance to, like, work with them really closely, because I never want to be one of those YouTubers that's just like, alright, you know, we got this game from this developer, let's get it and dick around for a while. I really want to be fairly closely involved in the process, like, oh man, you know, I can't wait until well, I'm kind of doing it with Vagante at this point, where it's like, I can't wait to see what they've done with the next patch, which should actually be coming out in a couple of days, come to think of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, this guy might be able to instant kill me, but I might be able to murder him really fast. There we go. Yeah. Oh, we got Scattershot too. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. So I'm also being asked advice for people wanting to start their own Let's Play channel. First and foremost, gotta plug it. Our Let's Play. I'm one of the moderators over there. So actually, if you ever, like, truly have a question for me, not as a YouTuber, but, like, if you ever have a question for me as far as, like, a wealth of knowledge, that place is actually even better than just me. We have a lot of collected information there, and seriously, that is how I learned how to do it, so... Well, that and my friends, but still. But, like, first and foremost, find a community that you can learn from. No Let's Players an island. Or at least, no good Let's Players an island. There are a couple of people that kind of are, but, like, even Cryotic, you know, the guy who nobody knows what he even looks like. Oh, yeah, ha, ha, ha. Almost died there. Not entirely sure how I lived. But so, even Cryotic, who's, you know, nobody knows what he looks like except for maybe a couple of his buddies. He has a lot of friends that he works with. No, so never ever go at it alone. That, I guess I would say that is my biggest piece of advice, apart from, like, the basics of... Like, okay, so I was actually, I've mentioned at this point several times that I was to PAX East, and it was awesome. But I actually attended a couple of panels in relation to, you know, YouTubing, Twitch streaming, stuff like that. And they were kind of mixed bag. So I got to listen to the Funhouse guys and Jack Patillo from Rooster Teeth talk about, or I guess from Achievement Hunters specifically. But so I got to listen to them talk about their advice for YouTubers. And I actually had to say it was some of the least useful advice I have ever heard. Specifically, I would wager largely because it was completely keyed for beginners. So in my case, not being a beginner, it was worthless. So for the... Oh, Jesus, I don't want to deal with you, don't want to deal with... Okay. That saves my ass. Oh, right, I probably do, like, butt tons of damage. I kind of forgot about that. I just don't have any health to sustain it. Okay. But, you know, the advice on the Twitch panel was purely just, like, just start. That's what everybody's advice was, and I was like, wow, this is just drivel. Because if you've done any YouTubing at all, you pretty much know that's the duh response if anybody's to give you advice. And the problem is, for a lot of the, like, particularly large channels, I'm like, this is actually a serious problem to a small degree in the industry, and, like, if you ever go to my subreddit, it will actually become kind of an obvious complaint about advice. What the dude? Oh, I got double exploded. Damn it, that sucks. Okay. But let's see. So, the one complaint that I hear a lot of people give... Yeah, let's just do a Top Hat run today. But a lot of people complain about how... you know, all of the advice you ever get from, like, a larger channel is meaningless because they're currently not experiencing what you're experiencing. And I actually have to agree with that. It's kind of a shitty cop-out way of, like, dismissing opinions of, like, larger channels, and it really does depend on the channel, too. But, like, when you hear, you know, one of the top sportscaster, you know, Twitch streamer, talking about, you know, starting, Twitch streaming, like, his advice to newbies, and it's effectively just, well, you gotta start someday, so you might as well start now. It's like, yes, that's obvious. But that's no interesting tip, that's no useful feedback. And so, for most people, like, I don't know, for most people, like, who haven't started Let's Playing it, it's actually kind of the dumb response, and most people need to take it to heart, because if you're gonna start, you really do need to start. But it's bad advice, I think, as far as I'm concerned, because it doesn't teach anybody how to do it. It's just like, well, go for it. So, apart from, like, the hyperbolic, like, well, just start, there's, like, no other advice there. And I think part of the problem is surely because a lot of the developers were, well, not developers, a lot of the, like, initial YouTubers grew a lot because of their own, like, hard work, you know, blood, sweat, and tears and stuff like that, especially because, you know, proper monetization and stuff like that. You know, that kind of stuff wasn't really in place. So a lot of people that got into YouTube and got big as a result of YouTube did it purely based on their own interest. You know, like, I like doing this. And now that people know it can be a job, yeah, there's actually, like, a level of, like, hey, I want to do this as a living. And so that's to a small degree where I am. Where it's like, I enjoy doing this, but if I wasn't able to eventually turn it into, like, a full-time job, I don't think I'd be nearly as dedicated to this, just because I know I couldn't get away with it. Whereas, like, you know, 5 years ago, most of the people getting into Let's Playing were, well, just hobbyists that really enjoyed their hobby and they grew really fast as a result because there wasn't a whole lot of competition. Let's see. But let's scoot over here. Okay, come on. I barely do damage right now. I'm looking for any kind of upgrades. We are stuck in a goddamn hole. And it's bad, and everything can explode and kill us in, like, no time flat. Come on, there we go. Let's see. But, so, for a lot of these people, their advice is actually truly worthless, and a lot of them don't know how to give proper advice anymore, because, well, what new people experience is wildly different from what older people experience. Heck, even what, like, I know and started with is going to be slightly out-of-date information. But I'd say it's still fairly relevant just because I'm still trying to grow myself as best as possible. I mean, everybody is, but like CNNers doesn't even put tags in his stuff. Doesn't even put proper tags in because he can get away with it. Whereas like me, if I had no tags, I'd be kind of doomed. But so, I don't know. Anyway, I'm being asked the question of what would I do if I got as big as PewDiePie or Markiplier? The answer is not much different, honestly. I think the only difference that would probably happen would be I would actually have all of the games. All of the games. No, like in all seriousness, what are they doing out there? You guys know you can just walk off the edge, right? Alright. Confusing. But so, like, one of the problems for me is I'm kind of poor. And I can't afford, say, a PS4, so I can play Bloodborne. It's just way outside of my price range. And so, honestly, chances are, not much would change as far as, like, I, myself, and, like, my content would be. It would just be a matter of, like, content would be a little bit more professionally produced. I think I'd have even better audio quality. Like, you think this is good, I could get it better. Let's see. Oh, come on. Let me up. Oh, don't dig through. I'm getting hammered here. I really need health. It's not been a very forthcoming run for that. But, yeah. No, as far as things that I do differently, probably not much. I guess the other thing that I would do is if I ever got as big as Markiplier or anything like that, I'd probably have something kind of like Rooster Teeth, if that makes sense. Like a smallish company with other Let's Players to work with. And there would be a lot more like co-commentary type stuff. Because I think that would be an absolute blast. But let's see. This is weird music. I don't even know. Okay, just murder. There we go. And off we go. But, let's see. No, as far as, like, actual tips for starting goes, apart from, you know, just start and, you know, make sure your audio quality is good. Actually, I'm going to have to go back to that. Make sure your audio quality is great before starting. Nobody is going to give you the light of day if you sound awful. Maybe if you're, like, the funniest bastard in the world. Sure, but chances are, anybody that's, like, starting YouTube right now is not going to be any funnier than anybody that came before. It's just a matter of, like, hard work, determination, and, like, smarts. But, I don't know. Like, seriously, it's lame advice. And, like, the thing is, I can't tell anybody a secret of, like, how to win. Let's just blow this up, see if I can get an item from it. Nope, doesn't look like it. That's a shame. But still. But, like, there's no secret black book of, like, how to YouTube. There's a lot of, like, really advanced techniques that you can learn. Ooh, sweet. We actually do damage now. But, like, there's no... Ooh, that's actually gonna save our ass. Saving asses. That's actually going to save us a lot of trouble. Like, the golden beetle, I believe, is the one that gives you HP for kills. Unless I'm incorrect here, and I hope I'm not. But, like, there's no, like, true secret on how to start Let's Playing. I've talked about this before. I've talked about this many times before. But the reality of the situation is, you really just gotta put your nose to the grindstone and deal with it. Some people can do... some people will grow faster. Some people will be more successful. Some people will learn... get lucky, stuff like that. It's just a matter of time and a lot of hard work. Like, I have spent more time working on this than I think I have on my, like, actual career. Actually, I know for a fact. You know, I don't paint nearly as much as I used to. I need to work on that, honestly. But, well, everything's going to explode in a matter of seconds. Let's see if I can get this before it matters. Yeah! There we go. Ooh, sweet explosions. But, like, I'm trying to think of, like, good advice for anybody that, like, has no idea what I'm talking about. And, like, the reality of the situation is, the first... Okay, I guess I might as well back up. So the first 100 subs are the hardest, I would say, to grow. I was talking about this the other day, actually during Endless Legend, and so I'm going to sound kind of like a broken record, but every time I talk about this, it's slightly different. So, first 100 subs are the hardest. Why? It's actually really easy to get 100 subs. If you get really lucky, you can be past 100 subs in a day. So I went from 30 to about 100 in 2 days, I want to say. It was very fast. And that was purely as a result of Dungeon the Endless. And to a degree, I flubbed it. Consistency is extremely important, so for me, letting a opportunity like continuing to cover Dungeon the Endless drop was a serious mistake, and I didn't realize it at the time that it was that important. I was just trying to get a review off, and I should have made a series. Which is why I barely do indie reviews at this point, and I mostly just start a series. Or if I do an indie review, it's usually episode 1. And sometimes there are games that I should actually come back to and like cover more. But it's hard to do. This is interesting music. I want to say it's Command & Conquer, but I could be wrong. But, so, consistency is important. But the main reason why the first 100 subs is particularly hard is nobody cares about your content. You might have, like, somebody, some really loyal person that finds your stuff. And they hold on to them. Actually, David B, I don't know if you're watching this, I don't know if you're listening to this, but man, you were like one of the main reasons why I kept going with some of my content, especially Tower of Guns. Like, if it weren't for one specific, oh god, gotta get out of there. If it wasn't for one specific fan, I don't think I would have kept with YouTube nearly as much as I did. And he commented on every single Tower of Guns video with like several paragraphs. And it was amazing. And I responded to everyone in kind, bullet for bullet, tried to keep going. And he comments every once in a while. I feel really bad because sometimes I miss it. And I find it a little while later and I'm like, damn, I need to, respond to this ASAP. I should probably go make sure that he's still there. But like, he was my most dedicated fan at the time. Him and I want to say TCA was also one of them. I haven't heard from him in a while, so I assume he's either busy or has lost interest in me. Both are entirely possible. But so, getting your most dedicated fans is going to be the hardest, but once you get them, everything gets a lot easier. So that's actually one of the reasons why I stream a lot, because it's direct feedback nigh constantly. And like some nights it's slow and it's a little bit sad, but some nights it's actually really bumping and I get really happy as a result of it. And it's really easy to keep the energy. I'm actually gesticulating here, which is terrible because I should not take my hand off of the mouse. I should just gesticulate with the mouse. No, that's equally stupid. I should probably leave. There's nobody else spawning here. But so, the first 100 is hard because you don't have these dedicated fans. You don't have anybody sitting around to watch your stuff. This is why it's important to, back to the blasé advice of just start, because if you don't, you're not going to have these people and they're not going to be able to boost you along. And like, no dedicated fan is truly going to be able to make you grow, but they're going to be your reason for wanting to grow. They're going to be your motivation when you're depressed and you look at the numbers and it's like, nah. And then you get, 5 comments, 3 comments, 2 comments, 1 comment, just a couple of likes, something like that. And it just makes your day, oh shit. It just makes your day a lot brighter than it was earlier, because you can look at it and be like, yeah, this is why I'm doing this here. And like, even still, like, now that I'm I'm gonna be at 2,500 in probably 24 hours. Like, now that I'm there, even like good comments, like really constructive information, good comments, stuff like that, all of them. I get good comments nigh constantly, actually. I'm getting some more like bad comments. I'm getting more dislikes, which is kind of a shame, but very rarely. And so like getting those really does kind of make my day, because it's like, yeah, this is why I do it. And this is why I like streaming, because 90% of the time everybody's super positive about what I'm doing. And, laughing and making jokes alongside or talking about other stuff that's weird and I don't really know what to say about it, so I just kind of ignore it, because it's like, I don't really want to talk about harem anime in the middle of a stream, because that's weird shit. I can never get into harem anime. Or if I do, it's because there's actually like a reason for me to want to watch it, like, shoot, I'm trying to think of good harem animes and I'm coming up blank. Not many. let me tell you, or at least as far as I'm concerned, most of the time the plot involves some kind of love quadrangle, and it's creepy. But that's another topic entirely that I've been in. Still, hello, we got a lot of stuff to cover here. But so the first 100 is the hardest, and like if you're lucky, if you're smart, if you're good at it, you can get that overnight. And the sooner that you can get that, the better off you are, because growth is not easy. Uh-oh. Can I get both? Not sure. No! Damn it. Alright, fuck you guys. Probably should have started up here and blasted off again. Oh well, not the end of the world. Would have been nice, though. That one's a good one. Yeah, seriously, I really wish the upgrades would immediately absorb into you. Never really understood why they didn't. But anyway, but yeah, the faster you can clear that first 100 subs, the better. And actually, if it takes you like a year or two to clear that first 100, you're actually going to be in a lot of trouble. Because one of the worst things that can happen to a YouTube channel is dead subscribers. Dead subscribers is a very consistent problem. And like, honestly, there's not much you can do about it, but dead subscribers are the people that only watch part of your content, or... Oh! Well, we died. Did not actually kill us that much, though. Alright, works for me. And because we got that Vigor Beetle, it's not so bad. But, dead subscribers effectively are just inflation on your numbers, which isn't so bad, but say you're looking at a channel, and they get 20 views a video, and they got like 4,000 subscribers, you have to wonder, like, what did they do? So, I've got a couple of acquaintances that are kind of like that, and it's kind of like, the bigger you are with the lower the numbers you have, the worse you're going to feel, because you know that nobody's interested in your content that was interested in your content at some point. It's part of the reason why I don't do a whole lot of the indie impression stuff anymore, because I know it's such a hit-miss grab bag that I know a lot of people just aren't going to be interested in what I'm doing anymore, and it makes me sad, because I know that I'm going to accrue a fair amount of dead subscribers as a result. And, you know, that's kind of why I've been trying to work on my force of personality, even though that's, like, not really a thing. Because everybody's personality really can't be developed beyond what they have. It's just a matter of, like, how you use it. That said, I'm learning how to be a little bit more jokish while I'm going along. But again, most of those jokes were already in my soul somewhere. It's just a matter of bringing them out and making them slightly less weird, or more weird and funnier as a result. I'm thinking of, glorious fat asses from yesterday, but still. And that's not... Oh god, I sound really offensive out of context. And probably fairly offensive in context. Oh well, I'll just deal with it. But, like, the reality of the situation is, like, once you pass the first 100, it's still going to be slow going. Like, honestly, for me right now, it's still slow going. But it's faster, and it feels better. Because I know that, you know, within, I want to say, a year, I'm going to be well past the 5-digit mark, which is going to be glorious, because that's usually the point where you can actually go full time, especially with the way that I do content. A lot of people give me shit for, like, doing infinite videos per day, but, like, the reality of the situation is, if I didn't do that, I don't think I'd be growing nearly as fast, and I don't think I'd be getting nearly the amount of numbers that I do. That said, if you're looking at my content and you're thinking, like, yeah, that's the way to succeed, no, this is not the way to succeed. If you want to learn how to succeed at YouTube, go watch somebody like Blitzkriegsler. I think he knows way better than I do. That said, I don't think I'd ever be able to be that meticulous in terms of my content. Because, like, as it stands, I play what I want. And I try and fit in the stuff that I want to play with the stuff that helps me grow. And so if I look at it and it's like, well, this game really isn't, like, really isn't doing that well for me. There's a question of, like, well, am I having a blast playing it? So, for example, Cavern Kings really does not get the metrics that most of the other games do. Or at least a number of other games do. But I play it anyway because... Well, that was explosive. I play it anyway because it's kind of fun and it's a nice little forum for me to kind of talk about my thoughts. It's actually... I'm trying to think if it's more... Ow. If it's more or less relaxing than Tower of Guns. It's very hard to say. Both are incredibly relaxing. God, I'm taking a lot of hits here that I do not want to be taking. But, like, those, Tower of Guns and Cavern Kings at this point are, like, my two rantisode type games where I can kind of sit back and relax and just kind of think about life, think about Let's Playing, think about anything that's on my mind, and not have to worry about it too much. And people seem to be pretty okay with it. Which is good, but, like, it's definitely not getting, the absolute maximum that some of my other content is. That's okay, too. Oh, there we go. I actually want these, because they make everything go boom. Wow, seriously. Whee! Oh, there's a rock in there. Didn't even realize. I thought I got... Oh, I do actually have a homesick shard. I was wondering about that. But so... Yeah, like, I am not growing comparatively fast. I know people that have gone from, 100 to 10,000 in a matter of, like, couple months. And they are... Honestly, I hate them a little bit, because the one thing is, never believe that you're going to grow, like, insanely fast. Never believe that you're going to grow faster than me, faster than anybody, because, honestly, I'm not saying that out of ego, I'm just saying that kind of to preserve your own ego. Wow, he exploded.